So this is a really strange news story, but I think it's actually a pretty fun one. If you guys weren't aware, over the last few days, Microsoft has done a couple of live streams. One was their fall Surface hardware event. The other one was a Ignite keynote. This was a more business-focused type thing than the Surface event was. Now, we here on this channel, we live streamed the Surface hardware event, and hundreds of you watched along with me. That was a lot of fun. We did not live stream along with the Ignite event because typically it's kind of a more boring event and nothing really comes out of it typically that I'm going to want to talk to you about. Well, this time it's a little bit different. Let's jump over to this Ignite event. And as we play this bit forward, tell me if you notice anything that seems rather strange. On this screen right here, does anything look rather strange to you? Well, it should, because this appears to be the new Surface Studio Plus. But if we look really closely here, there's some weird stuff going on this image. This does not look like normal Windows 11. I'm going to get rid of this stuff here, and we're going to talk about this a bit more. All right, so as we look at this image here, the first thing that stood out to me was this taskbar. Let's zoom in down here, and you're going to notice something. It is disconnected from the bottom. This taskbar is floating. Dare I say, this is no longer a taskbar. This is a dock. This is a Mac OS almost looking dock where you've got your icons here. I assume open programs will still kind of fill up this dock. But that's not a taskbar anymore. So that already is very, very weird. Now, you may be looking at this thinking, Shane, where is my time? Where is my calendar? Where are my system tray icons? Well, they are all the way up here, up at the very top corner. Another very Mac OS inspired design choice, a little bit low resolution, but you can see the date, perhaps the time there, battery, Wi-Fi, different icons up here that are typically in your system tray are way up there at the top. You've got their little weather widget that's normally down here is now all the way up here at the top, living happily up there in that corner. And then there's some sort of like universal search perhaps going on there. I can't really see all that clearly, but maybe that's like a calendar thing. I think it says Q3 environmental proposal, I think. So maybe there's like some sort of like calendar integration, things that, you're trying to get done appearing in that area as well. Overall, though, this is a very, whether you want to say it's Mac OS inspired or maybe it's Linux inspired, one of those two things is definitely going to be true. But, the biggest thing is this just doesn't look like Windows. So at that point, you're kind of left asking this question. What is this? What is going on in this image? They just kind of throw it in there. It's a 42-minute long presentation. And it's just kind of tossed in there. No fanfare. Nothing is mentioned about it. Everything's totally normal. Boom. There's this weird Windows that doesn't look like Windows. Well, apparently, this matches the description of a build of Windows, an experimental thing they've been working on that was circulated behind the scenes. Apparently, this isn't just some mock-up gone awry. This actually is something that they're thinking about for the next iteration of Windows. Perhaps Windows 12. And if true, this would be easily the biggest departure from Windows, the original idea, like maybe ever, probably ever. Every other Windows looks different, everything, but the fundamentals stay so similar. This would be a massive, massive redesign and total rethinking of the UI in Windows. In fact, the last time that Windows made such a large shift, I think can give us some intel, some intuition, if you will, on why they would do this. Think back to Windows 8, the Metro UI. Why did they do that? Well, because they were introducing touchscreen devices. They did it to make touchscreen devices better. Look at this interface here and tell me what it might be better at doing. Well, I think it might be better at touchscreen input. Microsoft maybe jumped the gun with Windows 8, thinking that the touchscreen PC revolution was coming a bit earlier than in actuality it was. But it is coming, maybe not in the sense that like everyone's going to use touchscreen all the time. The mouse and the keyboard is going to continue to have a place in the office, in the gaming setup, so forth and so on. But the proliferation of touchscreens is pretty well complete. Most laptops now, a lot of laptops now, are convertibles or at least have that touchscreen. Their devices all have touchscreens. And yet their operating system really doesn't do much for touchscreens. With Windows 11, sure, when it detects you're in tablet mode, the icons on the tray get a little bit bigger, I guess. The keyboard's improving a bit, but this to me looks like not just a design refresh, but also something that could be intended to make touch input better. Now, it's important to keep in mind recent leaks and rumors have indicated that it's going to be 2024 when the next big version of Windows is released. Could this be it? Could Windows 12 be? Was this an intentional thing dropped in there for people like myself to see, for other reporters to see and go, oh man, look at this, get people talking, and then get you to react here on the internet and tell Microsoft, do you love it? Do you hate it? Also, perhaps to just warm you up to the idea, to kind of slowly introduce into your brain the idea that Windows may be radically changing. I might be crazy, but I'm kind of bored of Windows UI. I like using different user interfaces, and I see this, and I actually get quite excited about it. I know that it looks a lot like macOS, a lot like Linux, and that is totally fair, but I just think it looks different. It looks new, it looks fresh, and I actually like that. But I would love to hear your comments down below on this. What do you guys think of this? Could this be Windows 12 coming in 2024? Was this an accident? Was this intentional? Let's be honest, it has to be intentional. There's no way Microsoft let this slip through without it being an intentional thing. So then at that point, why is it intentional? What are they trying to get out of showing us this imagery? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.